Today we've got a 12-bar blues solo jam by Kirk Fletcher. This is in the key of B flat, and this is another one of the older videos that I'm redoing. So when I did this the first time round, like several months ago, I didn't have the tabs on screen and I'd be sending them out via email. So in this version I'll be polishing it up a bit, plus I'll be putting the tabs on screen so it's easier to follow. So I'll play it all the way through and then we'll break it down lick by lick with tabs. Right, so we're in the key of B flat, so our one chord is B flat 7, and the 4 chord we're going to go to E flat, we're going to use E flat 9, and then F9. Now with these 9th chord voicings, Kirk, he's not rooting them on the A string, he's putting the root on the low E, so he's muting the A string, and he's playing the root on the low E, still on the same fret the root would be. You just get a bit of a fuller, richer sound than rooting it off the A string. Right, I'm going to play this through now lick by lick and we'll break it down with tabs. So there's lick 1. So this is mainly going to be out of box 1 B flat minor pentatonic. And we're going to be bringing in that major third. So the lick kicks off. We're going to do a whole step bend from the 8th fret on the G string. So that's on the 8th fret. Then we're going to come back to the 6th fret. This is our minor third. Then we do a stack on the G and the D on the 8th fret. Back to the minor third with our first finger, bit of a tweak. And then we hit the root on the 8th fret of the D string. That's the first lick. And then he plays the 1 chord. But Kirk does this cool. You can play it like this if you have trouble with your thumb, getting your thumb over. But you can, if you put a bar on the D, G, and B strings, and Kirk plays the root with his thumb, and then we play the 6th fret on the D, G, and B, and hammer into the major third on the 7th fret of the G with our middle finger. But it's the same as doing this. And then we go over and we bar the 8th fret on the D, G and B. And then we go back and repeat that embellishment. So that all together. So that's taking care of the 1 chord. So the next lick, I'm going to break this down into a couple of licks. The first part, we're going to come over to the 8th fret of the A string and we're going to walk up chromatically to the 10th fret. And then we're going to grab the 8th fret of the D. Then back to the 10th fret of the A. And then we're going to go 8th fret on the D and 8th fret of the G. This, I think, this is what Kirk's thinking, is he's implying the 4 chord. So if you look at your E flat A form bar chord there, and we invert it into our first inversion, you've got this root, this is the major third here on the 10th fret, then we have the 5th on the D string 8th fret, and then there's the root on the G string 8th fret. That inversion, that first inversion. So that lick. So from the beginning. And then we're going to come over into box 1 for quite a tasty lick that it's one of Kirk's signature licks. This, he does it all the time. Now Kirk, instead of moving right back into box 1 and starting this lick with his ring finger, he does the first bend with with his first finger because it's already there. It's already there on that root, and he goes. That's what he does. He moves back into box 1. But if you want from this chord, you can just move into box 1 here. And we're going to bend up the 8th fret, a half step, and then back. Then back to the 6th fret of the G. Then we're going to do a stack, 8th fret of the G, 8th fret of the D. Back to the minor third, the 6th fret of the G. Then we're going to bend up the 8th fret, a half step again. Then classic blues lick, 6th fret B, 6th fret high E. Pull off 9th fret to the 6th fret of the B string. Then back over to the 8th fret of G. Slide into the blues note. Back. And pull off 8 to 6. Then a triple stack on the 8th fret D. D to the G, back to the D. Back to the 6th fret. Pull off 8 to 6 on the D. Over to the 8th fret of the A. And then finish it on the root 8th fret of the D. So that whole lick slowly. I did a little bend then instead of the slide. I'll redo that. So from this lick. You can, when it comes back to here and does that little slide, you can do a little bend if you want. You're still getting the same notes, but Kirk slides in. You could go. Okay, from the top. Then he goes back to how we approach the 1 chord in lick 1 and does exactly the same thing. So he does that straight after that lick. And then we're going to move over to the 5 chord. So we come over now. So we've done. Now we're going to go to the 8th fret, the root of the D. Walk down the pentatonic. So we're going to go 8th fret, 6/8 on the G. Then we're going to grab the 6th fret of the B. This is our 5. So this is the root of our 5 chord. And then we're going to slide back into that same note on the G string. We're going to slide 8 to 10 on the G. So we've gone 5 into the 5 again. So we've hit the root of the 5 twice to outline that chord. And then he puts on. We're putting on this 9th chord shape, but now we're doing it over here on the 9th fret. So it's a half step above, but remember we're using the low E as our root, as the bass. And we're going to come down chromatically 9/8. That's the 5 chord. And then we're going to come down chromatically to the 4 chord. So when we've walked down them chords, we're going to come over to the 6th fret again on the B. We're going to play that and then reach over to the 9th fret on the high E, bend it up a whole step, and we're going to bend it while it's up. I know the tab just shows the 11th fret. I can't seem to get the notation to bend while it's pushed up. So we've got 6th fret. When it's up to the 11th, we play it again. Then we come down and we push it up a half step. And then we go 6-6 on the high E, on the B. And then we go 8-8 on the G and the B, so 2 little stacks there. So we go high E, B, G, D. And then he pushes up on that minor third just into that major third. And then classic turnaround. So that turnaround, we're going to grab the high E 6th fret with our pinky, and then we're going to walk down on the B string chromatically. So we're going to go. And when we get to the last one, 3rd fret, we play them both together. And then we play this tasty B flat 9 voicing chord to finish the jam off. So I'll play through it all again, and we'll go through it slowly. Sorry. No extra charge for mistakes, right? As usual, I'll put this up on my Patreon page with downloadable PDFs, so you can grab the tabs and you can work on it with neat tabs. Thanks for the support. I'm going to come in a bit hot and do quite a lot of videos in these coming weeks. So thanks for the support, thanks for all the comments and the likes, and I'll see you real soon.